Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the bright side of basketball. Today, obviously, we're going to be looking over one of my favorite things in the whole entire world. As you already know, Bleacher Report articles. The one that we're looking over today, it's every NBA team's top 3 trade targets right now. I'm going to give it a look. I'm going to let you guys know what I think. And yeah, we'll just start. So, the first team we got is the Atlanta Hawks. Okay, nice. So they're going alphabetically by the city name. Very good to know. Okay, so right now they have Giannis Antetokounmpo, Najee Marshall, Trey Jones. So Giannis I understand, Najee I understand to a slight, actually no, Najee I don't really understand. Trey Jones I understand to an extent, to a very 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 slight extent. I understand Trey Jones, but okay, so Giannis obviously he's number one. So what Najee Marshall would instantly become Atlanta's best rebounding wing. I guess so, but do they necessarily need that? I guess they do to an extent, but Trey Jones I understand because he can help a lot if Trae Young's out more, or if they potentially trade Trae Young. They have a new point guard to come in and kind of, obviously he's nowhere near as good as Trae Young, but he can do things that help the team win games in his absence. And also his name is also Trey, so you know the plays they can be exactly the same. They can be like, here Trey, you run here. The coach doesn't even have to change nothing. Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, like I said, Giannis I can really understand. I would love a Giannis trade to the Hawks. I think my top 2 destinations for Giannis would be the Hawks and the Spurs. I like the idea of either of those. Najee, I guess I kind of understand with their reasoning. And then Trey Jones, I definitely understand. That makes sense to me. Boston Celtics, they have Walker Kessler, Daniel Gafford, Mo Gay. Yeah, those all make complete sense to me. Specifically Walker Kessler, Daniel Gafford. Daniel Gafford I think I like the most out of all those. I feel like he's someone that they can actually get quite reasonably without having to give up too much. Walker Kessler, who knows what the Jazz would accept for him with the way that Danny Ainge has been GMing that ship over there. Yeah, I don't mind this. Mo Gay, I also definitely understand. Again, like I said, I think my favorite would be Daniel Gafford. I feel like he would low-key be perfect. He's cheap enough to have it make sense. Because I feel like, I've said this previously, but with the way the Celtics team has been playing, I genuinely think they can be in contention just with the return of Jason Tatum. I don't think they need to trade everything to get a good, very, very good center in order to win games. I feel like they can easily win games and even make the finals with even just a decent center. So, yeah, I'd be excited to see that. I definitely agree with Daniel Gafford. Walker Kessler, I can also definitely agree with, but I just don't know what the Jazz would expect in return for him. And same with Mo Gay to an extent, but I feel like he's good. I would just be curious to see, like, maybe if they can get him quite cheap. We will see. The Nets, Jeremy Sohan, Cody Williams, Jaden Ivey. I'm not sure. I don't really have any trade targets for the Nets, to be honest. I feel like this is a very hard team to kind of gauge because their whole thing is just being bad right now. The only one I would say I maybe disagree with is Jaden Ivey, and I believe Cody Williams is a guard as well. I disagree with them getting any new guards at this point. They drafted like 9 guards in the offseason, and I think they should rather focus on developing those guys unless they're trading them for Jaden Ivey. I'm not sure. Jeremy Sohan, I'm not completely sold on. Just in general, I don't know if that makes sense for them to get. He is young. He would fit their timeline, and he is, he's a good player. But I'd be curious. I'd be curious to see. The Hornets, Khalil Ware, Gigi Jackson, and Keon Ellis. Keon Ellis, I do heavily agree with. Keon Ellis, I feel like he's someone, considering the Kings are essentially refusing to even give him minutes right now, I don't mind him as an ideal get for essentially any team. But I would lean probably more towards like a contender getting him. Like I think the Lakers should try to get Keon Ellis. I hope he's listed for them. I feel like that'd be a really good fit. You can kind of just replace Marcus Smart with him, and they both play really good defense. But I believe Keon Ellis is a bit better offensively at this point in his career. So I would like that. And obviously Khalil Ware. I think damn near any team should try to get Khalil Ware if they can. Khalil Ware is so good. He's young still. There's a lot of promise there. Same with Gigi Jackson to an extent. Gigi Jackson, it doesn't feel like he's as young as he is because he's been in the league for like a few years now, but he's real good. He's really, really, really good. So yeah, I don't mind him. I don't mind him at all. Next we got the Bulls. Jalen Wells, Derek Lively, Peyton Watson. I guess so, yeah. Jalen Wells I can see because he's kind of a buy low target. He hasn't been playing his best basketball this year, and if the Bulls can get him for cheap, then why not? You know what I mean? That's what I really want to see the Bulls do. I want to see them continue like these buy low type deals. I want them to buy low on some people if they're not going to do a rebuild, because I would much rather they just do a full rebuild, you know, push in the chips, be like, okay, we want high draft picks from here on out. But if that's what they're destined to not do, then I don't mind the buy low type targets. Even Derek Lively is technically probably a buy low right now just due to his injuries. Same with Peyton Watson, not injury wise, but I can kind of see him being as a bit of a buy low. And also they're all quite young, so they all fit their timeline with Josh Giddey and everything like that. I don't mind it. The Cavs, Herb Jones, Justin Champagnie, Kenrich Williams. Kenrich Williams I don't fully get. Herb Jones makes a lot of sense for them, but instead of focusing on the defensive side, because I feel like they're good defensively even still, I would more so focus on the offensive side, specifically 3-point shooting. They've been really lacking 3-point shooting this year, mostly due to Darius Garland having a bit of a fall off this year as far as 3-point shooting has gone. I believe he was a 40% 3-point shooter last year, and then this year I believe he's down to around 31%, something like that. So I would really like to see them get more 3-point shooting. I guess Justin Champagnie kind of fills that role, but I would get like, if I was, I would try to get like a Duncan Robinson from the Pistons, or I would try to get, you know, maybe even Grayson Allen from the Suns, anything like that. I could see that working quite well for them. Next we got the Mavericks. Its own 2027 first-round pick, its own 2028 first-round pick, and Jared McCain. I get that. Yeah, they're in a rebuild. That makes a lot of sense to me. Try to get their first back. I'm not sure who they would like trade to try to get them, because yeah, it's the Hornets that have them, and then OKC has the swap rights to the 2028. So, but I don't think the Hornets are gonna want Anthony Davis or an injured Kyrie. It doesn't really make sense to me. I guess Davis could kind of fit their team, but again, just with how injury prone he is, he had another close call against, I forgot who exactly, but he banged knees and he fell to the ground and everything. I would be worried about trading anything of value to him, especially the Mavs 2027, because of how good of a pick that is most likely going to be due to their lack of good players right now, to be honest. You know, the Cooper Flag is the best they got, and Cooper Flag is good, but I don't know if he's good enough to wield them to the playoffs in 2027. So we'd have to see. Next, we got the Nuggets. Ayo Dosunmu. I like that. I actually do like that. I do like the idea of Ayo Dosunmu on the Nuggets. Same with Justin Champagnie. I can see that working. Haywood Highsmith. I guess so. Kinda. I can kind of see it. But I do lean heavily towards Ayo and Champagnie. I feel like they would fit that team very well. They could bring a lot of things. They could bring a bit more defense, some more 3-point shooting, and I feel like that's kind of what the Nuggets need. But it's hard to say because I feel like the Nuggets have been cooking as it has been. I'm not necessarily sure if they need to make any huge moves this year. Now, if they lose this year, then things get very, very, very awkward for that GM, but we'd have to see. We have to just wait and see. But I feel like they can definitely do a bit. Yeah, I can definitely see them getting any of those three guys and them fit in. So I don't mind it. The Pistons, Trey Murphy III, Lauri Markkanen, Michael Porter Jr. Yeah, I like all those. I think all those are perfect. Lauri Markkanen, obviously, as we know. Yeah, I like all those. I think all those are perfect. Lauri Markkanen, like we know, the Jazz are going to be asking for a lot in order to try to get him. And I feel like, I don't know if the Pistons are necessarily going to be willing to give up all of that in order to get Lauri. But I honestly, I would think it's worth it the way Lauri has been playing. Trey Murphy III, I'm high on him. I know he's a bit of a buy low target right now. I feel like they could get him for quite cheap, and I feel like he would fit that team quite well. He plays good defense. He can hit threes. Again, this year has been a bit different for him, but yeah, Michael Porter Jr. I also like as well. I feel like he would fit that quite well. I don't know. They probably would have to give up a lot. I don't imagine the Nets are going to be willing to sell Michael Porter Jr. for that low of a price. They're going to be asking for a lot, so it just really depends. For me, I think my list would go Larry Markkinen number 1, and then if they can't get Larry, try to then get Michael Porter Jr., if that makes sense, because Larry would fit what they need a lot better in my opinion. So next we got the Warriors. Giannis, Derek White, Trey Murphy. Yeah, but Giannis, obviously he's on there, but I don't know what the Warriors would give up for Giannis. They have nothing that I feel like the Bucks would want. Like, it just doesn't make sense. They have to give them the Jimmy Butler contract, which at this point is just it's bad. It's a really bad contract to get. He's making a ton of money. They already extended him. I believe he has about 3 years, including this year, and each one is like 50 to 60 million. It's not worth it. It's genuinely not worth it. Derek White, I like the idea of. I feel like he would fit that team quite well. Same with Trey Murphy. But again, I'm just confused as to what exactly they would give up. I guess it is just trade targets. Maybe they're not meant to be all that realistic, but I don't imagine the Celtics wanted anything from the Warriors, and I don't imagine the Pelicans wanted anything from the Warriors. But honestly, who knows with the Pelicans, though? They were willing to give up their pick for next year for basically nothing. So I'm just, I'm not exactly sure that they're the best people to ask as to what's a good trade or not. Because maybe they would trade Trey Murphy for just something silly, maybe just like a little souvenir photo from the Golden Gate Bridge. There, you can have him. You can have Trey Murphy. I don't know. I personally can't see it. If I was the GM, I would not give these teams those players. So Rockets, Ryan Rollins, Peyton Pritchard, Cam Spencer. Yeah, that makes sense. They do need more guard depth. Ryan Rollins, though, he's going to be really hard to get unless the Bucks decide to go full rebuild and they do actually trade Giannis and everything like that. Peyton Pritchard, again, he's on such a cheap deal that I don't think the Celtics are going to be willing to give him up. And Cam Spencer, he's also on quite a small deal, definitely compared to his production. It would be hard to get any of these guys. But yeah, I do like all those trade targets. They definitely need a guard. I would even probably put like Colin Gillespie from the Suns on this list. There's quite a few other guys I can definitely see matching the kind of thing that they need on this team. So we have to wait and see. Next we got the Pacers. Derek Lively, Yves Messi, Jonathan Mobo. All those make complete sense. I would even put Daniel Gafford on this one as well. They don't necessarily need a young center. They just need any center for when Halliburton gets back. But I'd probably lean more towards a center that has a bit of three-point potential, so they can kind of run some of the same plays they were running previously with Miles Turner. And I don't imagine Derek Lively hitting threes at the rate that Miles Turner was able to. Obviously, it's hard to completely replace what they're missing. But again, I don't know if any of these are all that realistic. Lively, I guess so. Mobo, definitely. They could probably get Mobo, but Yves Messi, again, like I said about the Pelicans, who knows what they would trade, but if I was them, I personally would not do that when we're not exactly sure what they have to potentially trade them for that. Yeah, like I said before about the Pelicans, we're not exactly sure if they would accept something that's not good for their good players, because Yves Messi is really good. He's really young. And I don't know what exactly the Pacers would have to give for him. I guess they could give a pick, something like that, but I don't necessarily see it. Next, we got the Clippers. It's own 2026. It's own 2027 and LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball, I hard disagree with. I can't see LaMelo Ball fit in on this Clippers team as it's currently constructed, with the way that I don't see Harden and Ball being a good backcourt together. Like, that would be awful in my personal opinion. Two guys that don't really play defense and both kind of rely on having the ball in order to do their best work. To me, I don't see it. I feel like that would not be good, like, at all for anyone. It's on 2026, it's on 2027. Obviously, that's a bit more of a pipe dream, though. There's no way OKC's giving them that pick, especially with how awful they're playing. I don't think there's anything the Clippers could give them to get that pick back, to be completely honest with you. They could literally, Steve Ballmer could personally call up OKC and be like, I will give y'all $2 billion for that pick, and they're not doing it. Like, that pick is just too damn valuable. There's so much on the line with that pick. It could easily end up being a top 3. And for one, that would be awful for the league. And 2, that would be great for OKC. So there's no way they're doing that when they have such a high chance. It would be like the Pelicans trying to get their pick back. It just wouldn't make sense. So, yeah. Lakers, Herb Jones, Dylan Brooks, Robert Williams III. Yeah, all people that they need. Again, I would even put Derek Lively on this. I would even put Keon Ellis on this. I think they would both be great for this team. Dylan Brooks makes a lot of sense. Herb Jones makes a lot of sense. Robert Williams III makes a lot of sense. Robert Williams III, they could definitely get. I don't see the Suns ever giving them Dylan Brooks with the way Dylan Brooks has been playing and the way that he's been leading the culture shift on this team. I think it's something that Brian Gregory, the GM of the Suns, as well as Jordan Knott are going to want to keep around and to try to properly drill in this new culture. And they're going to need at least 2 years of Dylan Brooks in order to do that. But yeah, he's been playing great, though. Like, he's averaging, I think, about 22. He's shooting it well. He's shooting from 3 well. He's hitting crazy shots. Yeah, it's been sick to watch Dylan Brooks, but it would be very difficult for the Lakers to get him. The Grizzlies, Sam Hauser, John Collins, DeMar DeRozan. I mean, yeah, those are all good. My only thing is with the Grizzlies, maybe I'm crazy, but if I was the Grizzlies, I would rather just do a full rebuild. If I was a Grizzlies fan, I would rather them just do a rebuild. The last thing you want is to kind of get stuck in mid, like what the Bulls have kind of been dealing with. And you'll be reliving that if you bring back DeMar DeRozan. Not bring back, if you bring in DeMar DeRozan, you'll be reliving what the Bulls were going through. To me, I don't see it. I think it would make the team better, but I would probably have them listed as one of the ones to just try to get some first round picks. I don't think, yeah. I think they should try to get off Ja. They should try to get off Triple J and try to actually rebuild something completely new using some of the younger pieces they have around. But yeah. Next, we got the Heat. Giannis, Zion, Benedict Mathurin. Zion, I'm not exactly sure about. I don't think any team should trade for Zion at this point. Yeah, sadly for the Pelicans, because they really need that. I don't think it makes sense. I think with how injury prone he's been, and even when he has been playing, it has been a bit underwhelming. You know, he has a lot of defensive liabilities, and yeah, I don't see it. I guess it could technically work next to Bam, but that would be such a small front court because I believe Zion's only like 6'6", Bam's only like 6'9", 6'10", maybe even shorter than that. It would be such a small lineup that, like, if they ever go against someone like Jokic, anything like that, they'd be cooked. Now, obviously, Giannis makes sense. Again, I feel like Giannis makes sense for essentially any team. And Benedict Mathurin, he would be a pretty good buy low candidate, in my opinion. Obviously, he's been injured this year. And again, when he has played, it has been a bit underwhelming. But I feel like he'd be a good buy low candidate. I guess I can even kind of see Zion, but it would really just depend on what they have to give up. If they have to give up something crazy in order to get their hands on Zion, I would not do it. But if they can get him for really cheap, like just matching the contracts, then sure, go for it. The Bucks, Kawhi Leonard, Royce O'Neal, and Terrence Shannon Jr. Okay, I completely disagree. This is awful. This is the worst thing I've ever read. I think at this point, the Bucks, seemingly with what's going on, they're probably going to be in the process of rebuilding. I don't see why they should get Kawhi. I don't see why they should get Royce O'Neal. I don't see why they should get Terrence Shannon Jr. under that umbrella of a rebuild. Especially Kawhi. His contract is super high. And again, obviously injuries and just, you know, the way he's been playing. He's visibly aging to where I don't think it makes sense for them to trade for him at this point with how much he's making. I don't see it. I do not agree. Next, we got the Timberwolves, Andrew Nembhard, I would assume Cam Spencer. Okay, I disagree on pretty much all of these, except maybe Cam Spencer. They don't need these guys. They do not need them. The Timberwolves would genuinely be good if, one, they got a new head coach. I stand by that. Chris Finch has not been doing that team well. And two, they just need a point guard. Any point guard. All right, they don't need Ayo DeSumo. They don't need Andrew Nembhard. Cam Spencer kind of plays a bit of point guard. That's why I was saying maybe him a little bit. But even him, I don't like him as a point guard for that team. They need a proper playmaking point guard. I don't know who exactly that would be, but they just need someone who can fill that role. Someone who can bring the ball up the court, someone who can pass, someone who can just do what the team needs. Because Anthony Edwards playing point guard has not really worked out this year, pretty much at all. The team has been severely underwhelming, and they just need a point guard. They don't need any of this extra stuff. They don't need defense. They don't need shooting. Get a point guard. And then I feel like once they have a point guard, we can properly see what they actually need. Because it's hard to say that they need more shooting when I feel like a lot of the shooting issues that they're having is due to the lack of point guard play. For example, Anthony Edwards, he's now having to bring the ball up the court compared to last year when Mike Conley, he was still there a little bit, but he was able to pass the ball to Anthony Edwards. He was able to get Anthony Edwards open for threes, and he was hitting them. He was hitting them like crazy. And I feel like he definitely still has the potential to do that. They just need a point guard in order to help. And yeah, that's my opinion. I guess Andrew Nembhard I would like on the Timberwolves, but again, I feel like they need a point guard. That should be the main priority. And none of these guys are really good point guards for what they need. So yeah. Next we got the Pelicans. Moses Moody, Corey Kispert, Michael Porter Jr. Corey Kispert I like. I like the idea of Corey Kispert being on the Pelicans, but even Michael Porter Jr. to an extent. Moses Moody, I'm kind of like whatever on. I feel like he would be good on the team, but again, it would just depend on what they need to give up in order to get any of these guys. If I was the Pelicans, though, I would be trying to do a way bigger trade than any of these. Obviously, it'd be difficult without their pick, but they're really bad this year, and they are going to want to try to get a lot better before the end of the season, because they might actually be giving up a top 3 pick, which is just insane. So I don't know. If they're giving up Darren Peterson, Cam Boozer, or AJ DeBonsa for Derek Queen, it's kind of crazy. Derek Queen has been good, like I said, but yeah, they need more. They need more to try to actually win some games. Michael Porter Jr. I like. That's probably my favorite out of those 3 in terms of, in my opinion, the intensity of a trade they need to make. So I don't mind it, but again, I just don't know what they would give up because their pick is gone this year. So next we got the Knicks. Justin Champagnie, Aodosuma, Ochai Agbaji. I don't mind it. I really don't mind it. I feel like Justin Champagnie would be very good for that team. Also, Aodosuma, I genuinely do not mind at all. Ochai, I don't know. I feel like with a lot of like these lower tier guys, not Ochai. Ochai is not a lower tier guy. He's been great. I feel like they could fit the team, but it would really just depend on what exactly they have to give up for them. But I really don't mind it. I like their fit. Again, I would probably put a bit more of a focus on probably even center play to an extent, because Mitchell Robinson, he's been decent, but again, with his injury stuff, and Cat has not been good offensively or defensively. So they really need to get up that 3-point shooting, which I guess Justin Champagnie fills. And they really need to get up that center defense. So I don't know. Next we have OKC Thunder. Just more firsts. Okay, yeah. I agree. All right, get more first round picks. We already know Sam Presti is going to do that. So let's just let him cook. The Magic, Sam Hauser, Corey Kispert, Svi Mykhailiuk. Yeah, I don't mind. I think all those guys would actually be great for them. I really like Sam Hauser. I would even probably put Grayson Allen or even maybe Colin Gillespie. They just need more ball handling and more 3-point shooting. So I really don't mind any of those guys. Sam Hauser, I really like the idea of. Actually, I really like Corey Kispert and Sam Hauser. Those are definitely my top 2. Svi Mykhailiuk, I'm more of just a whatever on. If they can get him, sure, I would like it. But yeah, I would put more of a focus on Sam Hauser and Corey Kispert. 76ers, Trey Murphy, Najee Marshall, Tari Eason. Tari Eason and Trey Murphy, I really like the idea of them on the 76ers. Like, I don't know those two just make sense. I can just imagine them in the 76ers jerseys, and I could imagine them cooking. Especially with their age, they really match the new timeline being set with Jared McCain, VJ Edgecombe, and even Tyrese Maxey. So yeah, just get more pieces to build around Tyrese. Get something good going. Phoenix Suns, Zion Williamson, Najee Marshall, Sadiq Bey. No. I completely disagree with all of these. The Phoenix Suns, they should just be trying to get picks. That should be their whole thing. The team's good, but yeah, no, Zion, I wouldn't like on the team at all. I feel like his lack of defense, it really does not match what the team is currently trying to do. And pretty much the 2 things that this team specializes in, he does not do well. It's 3-point shooting and his defense. He doesn't do either well. Najee Marshall, I'm kind of whatever on. I feel like it kind of works. Sadiq Bey, I'm not too sure. We haven't really seen a lot of Sadiq Bey in these last couple of years due to all the injuries he's been going through. I don't like it. I still don't like it. They have John Collins on here. I would like John Collins, but yeah, I'm not sure. Trailblazers, LaMelo Ball, Scottie Pippen Jr., Colin Sexton. So 2 people from the Hornets, 1 person from the Grizzlies. I'm not sure. I don't necessarily agree. I definitely lean more towards Scottie Pippen Jr. Actually, Colin Sexton I would also like. I don't mind it. But again, LaMelo Ball I probably wouldn't get just because we know Lillard's coming back next year, and meaning they're gonna have to play a front court of those 2 in some way, or a back court of those 2 in some way, because I don't see either of them coming off the bench. I'm not necessarily sure. LaMelo Ball I don't really like the idea of too much. I feel like there's too many ball dominant guys on that team. When Lillard gets back and when all those guys get back. So I'm not sure. If anything, honestly, for the Trailblazers, I would even maybe put Giannis. I feel like Giannis could fit that team really well. You bring him back with Drew and in Lillard. See what they can all do together with Denny, with a lot of those other guys, because they have picks. They have young guys they can trade. They probably throw it in Scoot or whatever, but yeah, I would like Giannis on the Trailblazers. Next, we got the Kings. So they want them to get the Bucks 2031 first-round pick, Tari Eason and Asa Newell. I don't mind that. Tari Eason, I don't mind. But again, I feel like with the Kings still, I've said this before, but I really want to see the Kings just go ahead and do a rebuild. They obviously don't have what it takes to compete at a high level in this league. And I really think they just need to fully rebuild. Get rid of Sabonis, get rid of Zach LaVine, get rid of all those guys completely. Get rid of all of them. Move on with your life, and just, call it a day. Next, we got the Spurs, Giannis, Jaren Jackson Jr., Trey Murphy. I really like all those guys. I feel like all those guys would fit next to Wemby really, really, really well. I really like the idea of all of it. I feel like Giannis and Wemby would be genuinely unstoppable in the front court. It'd be impossible to score in the paint, I feel like. And also offensively, that shit's demon time, okay? Because you got Victor who can sink threes, and you got Giannis just dominating the paint, and Wemby can dominate the paint if he wants. It's wacky. That'd be a wacky team. And also, I feel like they really have the stuff to do it. Like, I would easily throw in Dylan Harper. I would easily throw in Stephon Castle for Giannis. No issue. I wouldn't start there, but I would definitely allow it to work up to that. Next, we got the Raptors, Goga Batadze, Keon Ellis, Day'Ron Sharpe. Yeah, I like all that. Goga, I can definitely imagine fitting on that team. Keon, I can really imagine fitting on that team. Day'Ron Sharpe, I'm kind of whatever on. I don't feel any specific way towards Day'Ron Sharpe, so I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind any of that. I enjoy that. The Jazz, Tari Eason, Sam Hauser, Anthony Simons. Yeah, I don't mind it. Anthony Simons, I'm kind of whatever on. Tari Eason, I can definitely see fit in that team quite well. Yeah, I would leave it at that. Specifically with Anthony Simons, actually, one more thing. Specifically with Anthony Simons, I don't really see it, purely because they already have guard play. They have Ace Bailey. They have Keyshawn George. They don't need another guard, so I would prefer them to try to get a bigger wing like Tari Eason, who can play the 4 or play the 3. Tari Eason could probably even technically play the 2 if necessary, so I wouldn't mind Tari. Next, we got John Collins, Jonathan Isaac, Tyler Kolek. I guess so. Again, the Wizards, they're rebuilding. I would try to prioritize getting more and more picks. I don't think a lot of that stuff is necessarily necessary for them at all. But yeah, I'm probably going to end it there. Thank you all for watching. Let me know what you think in the comment below. I will be uploading every single day until Christmas, so please please subscribe, please comment down below if there's anything you would like to see me talk about, anything you would like to see me cover. And yeah, thank you for watching. Peace.